welcoming yourself onto the back, knees bent, feet to the mat. You're gonna find your Coregeous Ball, and the ball's inflated to about maybe 75 or 80% inflation. So keep it hands, like within hands reach or arms reach. Let's for now just place it aside and bend the elbows to 90 degrees. So the hands point up to the ceiling, elbows connect to the floor. And from there, without moving anything else, you're gonna try to drive your shoulder blade tips. So those are those little wing tips down on the back of your spine, like on either side of your spine, kind of behind your heart. You're gonna try to push those straight down into the floor. And as a result, you might feel like your chest lifts up just a little bit, but nothing else ought to really change. And then lower back down. If you're not really feeling that connection, try straightening the arms straight up to the ceiling, not close, but kind of shoulder width apart or so. And then you've got the whole weight of the arms right down onto those shoulders. And keeping the arms straight, you're gonna push those shoulder blade tips into the floor and then let them relax. And what almost feels like it's happening is that the shoulder blades feel like they're coming closer together. And then as you let them relax, they might feel as though they're moving broader apart, like out towards the edges of your upper back. So let's drive the shoulder blades into the floor, not even necessarily with all of your force or might, just enough that you get a sense that there are these two little support structures down there on either side of your heart. And see if you can maintain connection with those shoulder blade tips now, bending the elbows. And if you lose connection, if it kind of becomes one rounded flat space, you're welcome to keep the arms reaching to the ceiling. If you do have that connection, perhaps you want to straighten the arms to the floor and see if you can still maintain a little bit of connection with those shoulder blade tips. Now it's those two little feet on either side of your heart. Those are your 2 feet of one side of your bridge. The heart, that's your bridge, that little lift that happens, and your actual feet are the other 2 sides of the bridge. So this is how I want you to imagine your bridge. Feet, your feet. Heart lifts up, that's the bridge. Even though our hips are moving, the bridge is where your heart lies. Shoulder blade tips, the other 2 feet. Now tilt the tail so the tailbone points towards your knees. And then let that relax again. So you're back to your neutral spine. The shoulder blade tips stay rooted, feet stay rooted. Tilt your tailbone again so your whole pelvic bowl will tilt. Tailbone points towards your knees, and maybe lift your tailbone up off the floor. Then lower the tailbone down. You're going to keep that posterior tilt of your tail. Lower tailbone down, untilt. Tilt your tailbone towards your knees. Lift your tailbone up. Maybe lift your belly button. Keep connection with those shoulder blade tips. Belly button down, tailbone down. Untilt the tail. Tilt the tail, lift the tailbone up, belly button up, lift up to your very lowest rib. Low rib down, belly button down, tailbone down, untilt. Let's keep rolling up the spine this way. Keep those shoulder blade tips connected, tilt the tail, tailbone up, belly button up. Low ribs up, maybe mid back up, and then back down, mid back, low rib, belly button, tailbone, untilt. Find the shoulder blade tips and your feet. Let's roll all the way up through bridge. Tilt the tail, peel off the floor, 1 vertebrae at a time. Like each vertebrae had their own suction cup to the floor. And as you lift up, it's like pop, 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 pop. And we'll roll back down. 1 vertebrae connecting to the floor before the next. Rolling up one last time. This time, as your hips lift up, take that Coregeous Ball and bring it underneath your sacrum. So that's the flat landing zone right at the top of your seat. Not your low back, kind of near your tailbone, I guess, because this ball is quite broad or quite big. And you'll know that you're in the right place because when you rest your weight down upon it, you're not going to feel like you're in any sort of your pelvic bowl isn't tilted towards you, nor is it dropping away from you. It's kind of one consistent line from the shoulders to the hips. So then for a little bit of support, let's take the hands, or the arms rather, out a little wider and turn the palms down, like little kickstands. And take your feet out a little wider so you've taken up a little more space here. And then with one leg, you can use your arms and your one leg for support. Your one leg is going to come off the floor, so just drop that knee towards your chest, like your knee's moving towards your underarm. Make some room for the belly so the thigh can come to the outer edge of your belly. And then step it back down. Get a little comfortable with that instability. Now you're going to do the other side, other leg, up and down. And this is where you can stay today. If this is the first time you've ever tried this exercise, this ball is already creating extra challenge for your body. If you're feeling relatively comfortable, maybe try taking one leg up and then let the other leg come as well. So both feet float off the floor. You can still use your arms like kickstands to support you here. Try to drop your knees back enough that you feel like you can just relax the weight of your legs. And maybe you want to kind of experiment. What happens if I straighten the legs? What happens if I bend them? Am I still breathing? And then maybe this is where you stay for today and just get more and more comfortable with this level of instability. Maybe you want to turn the palms up so it's a little less support from the arms. Eventually, maybe you want to creep the arms closer to your body so it's less support still. And you're going to stop yourself wherever you're like, okay, that's about as unstable as I feel comfortable today. How's the breath? In and out through the nose with ease. The breath can sometimes tell you, even if your brain and your heart want to leap ahead, the breath might be putting the brakes on here. Eventually, perhaps you can float both arms up off the floor. So the arms are back to reaching up, weight of the arms resting into the shoulder blade tips. Legs at rest, floating on that ball. Some days this feels, I feel capable doing this. Some days it feels out of control. So you make sure that you support yourself wherever you need to. If this is the most comfortable you've ever been, then you're going to try moving the legs. So maybe one leg reaches, one arm reaches, with both feet floating. I'm not going to go there today, but I encourage you to if you're feeling your stability here. Maybe you're just going to move the arms for today. So feel free to experiment. If this becomes a comfortable place to land, where can your next adventure take you? All the while connected to an easy sense of breath and making sure that we're not creating tension in the body. So we're trying to move ourselves into adventurous places with ease. So now let's slowly bring both feet down to the floor, arms back down to the floor. Tilt the tail in the same way, so you're going to point your tailbone to your knees and peel off of that ball vertebrae by vertebrae. Take the ball out and come back down from the top spine to the bottom. So you're going to start near your heart and suction cup one vertebrae at a time back down to the floor. And the floor is going to feel a little further away from you, but trust me, it's there. Once you feel your tailbone make a connection, you can untilt the tail and maybe find some stillness here, exploring this sensation. Maybe find some windshield wiper knees, feet wide to the edges of your mat, both knees one way, both knees the other. Feel free to straighten the legs or butterfly them. Take a few moments before coming out of this pose to move your body however it's craving. Now that you've opened up a new space in your body, let yourself become a little more comfortable with that before you come out of this pose.